Well, hey, happy Sunday to you. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing good. We're doing Sunday in Psalms today, and if you've been paying attention, we are now today at Psalm 23. Okay, Psalm 23 is known as "The Lord is my shepherd." That's what the title is today. But this is probably the most popular psalm. And what I'd encourage you to do is today I'm just going to do a very brief overview of it. Probably 6 months ago, maybe a year, I forget how long ago it was, I did a whole section, just like we go through books of the Bible. Well, I did a section just on Psalm 23, and I spent 10 sessions or so on Psalm 23, going through that and explaining it. So, and it went along right with this book by Philip Keller called A Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23. So I would encourage you to read that book, Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23. A very interesting book. And then also go back and listen to the section that we did on Psalm 23. And I think it was just Psalm 23. I don't think I called it A Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23. But anyway, it was a kind of exposition verse by verse on Psalm 23, about 10 episodes if I remember right. Today I want to read here from Psalm 23. And remember, this is called The Lord is my shepherd. I have my sheep here with me today. And so let's read here. Psalm 23, it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures, and he leads me beside quiet waters." There's a whole lot here that you could say about this. But the shepherd basically provides for the sheep. The sheep are not necessarily wild animals that can go fend for themselves. They're like one of the few animals that really need the care of a shepherd. Okay? So he says, "I lack nothing because the shepherd is taking care of me. He makes me lie down in green pastures," because that's where the shepherd is leading them, to green pastures. If they get into other pastures that are all dry and stuff, well, they're going to be suffering. And then it says he leads me beside the quiet waters. Sheep are also an animal that needs like still waters to drink. If you have, the mighty rapids of the Colorado Rockies going down through there, the sheep are not going to be wanting to drink there. And in fact, they will probably die of thirst before they stick their nose into that water. They will actually go back to some nasty puddle and drink from that. And so you want to supply them good water. You don't want them to drink from the nasty puddle, which the nasty puddle is all still, and that's what they want, the quiet water. But so you need to find that quiet water for them as the shepherd, and that's what God does for us. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. He's going to take me along to wherever I need to go in his right paths. "Even though I walk through the darkest valleys, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." You'd be leading the sheep through this valley. There could be enemies on either side. There could be thieves up there. There could be, lions and all kinds of stuff up there. But when the sheep were there with the shepherd, they really had no fear. They just march on through because the shepherd would take care of them. And it said, "Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." The rod was something that was like a big stick that you used to beat things. And they were there to beat down the animals and stuff. And then the staff was also there, and the staff had a crook in it that if a sheep fell, the shepherd could grab that sheep with that crook and pull it up. Okay? Verse 5, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." The table would be, and table here would be kind of a mesa. That's a Spanish word, mesa, a table. But a big grassy field, and there could be enemies around. There could be the lion sitting over there waiting. There could be a hawk or an eagle flying up ahead waiting. But the table's there, all ready to eat, and the sheep don't worry about anything because the shepherd's there watching and keeping an eye out for them. Okay, it says, "You anoint my head with oil, and my cup overflows." We talked about that back when we went through this book. We don't understand, anointing the head with oil. Why would I want to do that? Well, are a bad thing with sheep, and the flies will go up in the nose and cause problems. A sheep doesn't have like hands and stuff to get the flies out of the nose. So the flies will go up there and agitate the sheep to no end. And then they also lay their eggs up in there. And so then you have this fly larva up in the nose. And that can actually make the sheep kind of get mentally disturbed because of that going on in their noses. The way the shepherd combats this is he puts oil around the nose and in the nose and so forth. And it's an ointment, and that keeps the flies away. So I'm sure when the sheep first gets that put on, he's not too excited about it. But as the flies come, they're not wanting to go in there. So the shepherd takes care of the sheep that way. Verse 6, surely your goodness and your love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Okay? That sheep can just go any place it wants to, in the field with the shepherd watching. It's not worried about anything because the Lord is always watching with him, all the time. So that is Psalm 23. And we can take comfort in this whole psalm. It's a popular psalm, especially at funerals, to read, because it's showing the Lord is watching out for us. Just like I'm the sheep. The Lord is watching out for us constantly. So take comfort in that today. Thanks for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey in Exodus 22. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.